There comes a moment just before everything shifts. You're together, breathing deeply, close enough to feel every heartbeat. In that tiny space before the next step, it can seem as though the entire world has gone silent. If you understand how to embrace that moment, it can leave a lasting impression on a man, not only in a physical sense, but on an emotional level that stays with him for years. True intimacy is never only about the act itself. It's about how fully present you are as the connection builds. It's about allowing yourself to be seen, appreciated, and desired while confidently inviting him to experience every part of who you are. Many people have been led to believe that men only chase something new, that being unforgettable requires perfection, performance, or doing what no one else has ever done. But that isn't what reaches a man's heart. That isn't what leaves him speechless. What truly stays with him is the quiet moment before everything unfolds. The shared glance, the steady breath, the emotions that fill the silence when nothing needs to be explained, when you stop trying to impress and simply invite genuine connection, when your body expresses trust while your presence quietly says, "I know my own worth." That is what makes you unforgettable. Not because you offered your body, but because you created a moment that felt meaningful, a pause that made him feel chosen, a memory that lingered long after the night had ended. Stay with me, because what comes next reveals why these small moments often become the ones people remember the longest. If you're ready, let's continue. There is something timeless, instinctive, and incredibly powerful about eye contact, especially in those final quiet moments before intimacy deepens. When you're already close, when every breath feels slower, and the only thing left is to embrace the moment, your eyes become your strongest form of communication. Looking into his eyes isn't about creating drama or putting on a performance. It's about sharing a silent message that says, "I'm here. I'm present. I'm open." When you hold that gaze without pulling away, without breaking the connection or covering the moment with nervous laughter, everything begins to change. Most people rush through these seconds. They look away, they close their eyes too quickly and miss the emotional depth waiting there. Not because they're doing anything wrong, but because they've never learned to simply stay in the moment. When you keep your eyes on him, you're quietly telling him that he has your attention, your trust, and your emotional presence. That's where the real impact begins. Suddenly, you're no longer just two people sharing physical closeness. You're two individuals seeing each other without hiding. That level of openness creates an experience that reaches far beyond attraction. It doesn't simply excite him, it moves him. Your eyes quietly say, "I'm fully here with you." They express confidence, vulnerability, and quiet strength all at once. For many men, feeling truly seen is surprisingly rare. They may experience desire often, but genuine emotional connection is much less common. That's why this kind of presence stays with him. So when that moment arrives, don't rush past it. Look at him with calm confidence. Let the silence speak. Let the connection grow naturally. Hold the moment just a little longer. Because sometimes the memories that last a lifetime are created in just a few unforgettable seconds. And this is only the beginning, because the next insight may change the way you think about connection forever. When your bodies are close and your hearts are beating faster, it isn't about finding the perfect words. It's about speaking the right words in the right moment. A soft whisper into a man's ear can become something he'll never forget. In that instant, you're not announcing your feelings for the world to hear. You're sharing a private moment meant only for him. Your voice, carried on a quiet breath and filled with intention, reaches him in a way that few things ever can. When a man hears words that belong only to that shared moment, they leave a much deeper impression. You don't have to memorize a script or search for something impressive to say. What matters is that your words are sincere and personal. It might be something as simple as, "I've never felt this close to anyone," or "Being here with you feels so natural." It could even be, "I feel completely safe with you right now." The words don't have to be dramatic. They simply need to be genuine. In that quiet whisper, he doesn't just hear your voice. He feels trusted. He feels chosen. This isn't about putting on a performance or trying to create a perfect scene. It's about sharing a side of yourself that exists only in that moment. That sense of exclusivity creates a connection that reaches beyond attraction. It makes him feel emotionally present as well as deeply appreciated. The timing is just as important as the words. Lean in when the moment naturally slows down. Let your voice stay calm and gentle. Allow your breath to carry your words with warmth and honesty. Speak from the heart instead of from a rehearsed line. He may not remember every word you said, but he'll always remember the feeling they created. He'll remember the softness in your voice, the closeness between you, and the quiet emotion that filled the silence. Don't overlook the power of a simple whisper. Sometimes it's the smallest expression that leaves the deepest memory. Stay with me, because the next insight may completely change the way you think about emotional connection. Sometimes the strongest thing you can offer is complete stillness. No long speeches, no dramatic gestures, just calm, steady breathing. Before two people become fully immersed in a shared moment, there is often a brief pause. Some people rush through it without noticing, while others allow it to become part of the experience itself. That quiet space can hold more meaning than people realize. Many assume that attraction comes only from obvious actions or grand displays, but the deepest connections are often built through subtle moments that are felt more than seen. The rhythm of your breathing naturally communicates calmness, confidence, and presence. When you stay relaxed and fully in the moment, the atmosphere changes without either of you saying much at all. That quiet closeness creates anticipation while reminding both of you that there is no need to hurry. It invites trust instead of pressure. It allows emotion to grow instead of being interrupted. Physical closeness is important, but emotional presence gives it lasting meaning. Sometimes the smallest details, a gentle breath, a peaceful pause, or simply staying present together, become the memories that remain long after everything else fades. They create a feeling that is difficult to explain yet impossible to forget. Rather than rushing toward the next moment, allow yourself to experience the one you're already in. Those quiet seconds often speak louder than words ever could, and they are usually the moments people carry with them long after the night has passed. What comes next builds on this idea even further, and you may discover that the simplest moments often leave the deepest impact. That quiet pause carries more meaning than most people ever realize. It creates a feeling that words often cannot match. Instead of rushing to fill the silence, allow the moment to breathe. Bring yourself close and let your presence speak before your voice ever does. Sometimes the smallest gestures leave the deepest impression. A calm breath, a gentle pause, or simply staying close can create an atmosphere that feels genuine and unforgettable. Rather than trying to impress, allow your natural confidence to guide the moment. Your calmness communicates more than rehearsed words ever could. It quietly says that you're comfortable, present, and completely aware of what you're sharing together. That kind of emotional restraint builds anticipation in a way that feels effortless. It isn't about holding something back to create drama. It's about allowing the connection to unfold naturally instead of rushing toward the next step. Those silent seconds become powerful because they invite curiosity, trust, and closeness all at once. Your presence reminds him that meaningful connection isn't a race. It's an experience meant to be felt. When you slow everything down, the entire atmosphere changes. Every glance becomes more meaningful. Every breath feels more noticeable. Every second seems to stretch just a little longer. That's often what people remember most. Not the obvious moments, but the quiet ones that made them feel completely present. Stay with me, because the next idea reveals how one simple gesture can transform an ordinary moment into a lasting memory. In a world where everything moves quickly, slowing down becomes surprisingly powerful. One gentle gesture can change the emotional tone of an entire moment. Placing both hands softly around his face with genuine care isn't about creating a dramatic scene. It's about showing that you're fully present with him. That simple touch quietly says, "I see you. I'm here with you." Many people assume emotional connection comes only through conversation, but sometimes a thoughtful gesture speaks much louder. Holding someone's face with kindness and looking into their eyes creates a sense of trust that goes beyond physical attraction. It shifts the focus from excitement alone to something deeper and more meaningful. In that moment, both people are reminded that they're sharing an experience built on choice, respect, and genuine connection. Your touch becomes steady rather than rushed. Your eyes remain calm instead of distracted. The silence feels comfortable instead of awkward. Those small details create memories that often stay with someone far longer than grand displays ever could. When your hands rest gently against his face and your attention never wavers, the moment feels honest, intentional, and real. It encourages both of you to slow down, appreciate each other, and simply exist together without pretending to be anything else. Sometimes that's what makes an experience unforgettable. Not intensity alone, but the feeling of being truly seen, appreciated, and accepted. And that quiet sense of presence is often the part people carry with them long after the moment itself has passed. Say nothing for a moment, simply stay present. Let your calmness, your warmth, and your genuine presence speak louder than words ever could. Sometimes the strongest connection comes from sharing silence instead of trying to fill it. When you look at someone with quiet confidence and sincere intention, they feel something that goes beyond attraction. They feel accepted. They feel chosen. There is also something deeply meaningful about hearing your own name spoken by someone who truly cares about you. In an emotional moment, saying his name slowly and naturally can create a memory that lasts far longer than any grand gesture. Don't rush it, or say it just to get his attention. Let it come from a real place. Speak it with warmth, as if every syllable carries meaning. That simple act turns the moment into something personal. It reminds him that you're fully present and focused on him, not distracted by anything else. It quietly says, "I see you. I'm here with you." That's what creates lasting memories. Many people experience attraction, but far fewer experience genuine emotional presence. That's why moments like these stay with someone. In a world where people are often distracted or disconnected, hearing their names spoken with honesty and care feels surprisingly powerful. It isn't about performance. It's about authenticity. It's about creating a connection that feels real instead of rehearsed. Stay with me, because the next idea explains why slowing down often creates the strongest emotional impact of all. If you truly want to leave a lasting impression, don't feel the need to rush through meaningful moments. Sometimes the most unforgettable part of an experience is the brief pause before everything moves forward. When emotions are high and anticipation naturally builds, allow yourself to slow down instead of speeding ahead. That pause isn't hesitation, it's confidence. It's choosing to appreciate the moment instead of racing past it. Many people believe the most memorable part is what happens next, but often it's the quiet space just before it. Those few seconds invite both people to become fully aware of each other. They create stillness, focus, and emotional presence. By slowing the pace, you naturally guide the energy instead of being carried by it. Every glance feels more meaningful. Every breath becomes more noticeable. Every second seems to hold a little more weight. That's what people remember years later, not because something dramatic happened, but because they felt completely present. They remember how calm everything became, how time seemed to slow, and how genuine the connection felt. Instead of filling every silence with movement or conversation, allow the quiet to exist. Let anticipation develop naturally without forcing it. Sometimes the greatest emotional impact comes from simply being there together, fully engaged in the moment. Those peaceful seconds often become the part that lingers in someone's heart long after everything else has faded, proving that true connection is built through presence, patience, and shared emotion rather than speed alone. Not yet. Give the moment a little more time. Let the silence settle between you instead of rushing past it. Stay present. Stay calm. A person who knows how to pause doesn't feel the need to prove anything. They don't chase the ending. They appreciate every step that leads there. They understand that anticipation often creates the strongest memories. That patience, that quiet confidence, and that sense of self leave a far greater impression than hurried excitement ever could. The truth is, many people experience physical closeness, but only a few moments remain unforgettable. Why? Because so many are rushed, predictable, and disconnected. They move so quickly that neither person has the chance to truly feel what is happening. But when you slow down, when you simply look at each other, breathe together, and allow a few silent seconds to exist, everything changes. Suddenly, the moment feels deeper, more meaningful, and more alive. Without saying a word, you're communicating, "This matters. I'm choosing to be fully present with you." That simple pause transforms an ordinary experience into something emotionally memorable. It isn't about hesitation, it's about intention. Those quiet seconds remind both of you that genuine connection deserves time. Stay with me, because the final lesson brings everything together in a way that many people never expect. Let's be honest, physical attraction is everywhere. It's shown on screens, heard in music, and discussed every day. But authentic emotional intimacy is much harder to find. That's what people remember. It's not appearance alone that leaves a lasting impression. It's presence. It's the calm confidence to hold eye contact, to listen, to smile, to slow down, and to make another person feel genuinely seen. It's the quiet conversations, the thoughtful gestures, the shared silence, and the feeling that for a few moments nothing else in the world mattered. Those are the experiences that stay in someone's heart long after the moment has passed. If there's one idea to take away, it's this. Stop believing that doing more creates deeper connection. Instead, slow down. Be intentional. Let your confidence come from authenticity rather than performance. Allow your presence to become your greatest strength. When you learn to appreciate the small moments, the anticipation, the conversation, the shared glance, the comfortable silence, you don't simply create attraction, you create trust. You create memories. You create a connection that feels real. So here's a question for you. Which of these ideas stood out the most? And which one do you think makes the biggest difference in building a meaningful relationship? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more insights on building stronger, healthier, and more emotionally connected relationships. Because the most unforgettable experiences are never built on intensity alone. They're built on sincerity, presence, and the courage to truly connect.